You still stuck in the Stone Ages using a pump sprayer? Welcome to 2025. We're about to unbox the Zephyr. It's a high-end sprayer built for the average user. It runs on batteries that you already own. It still packs all the quality features that FlowZone is known for. FlowZone sent me the sprayer with no strings attached, but technically accepting a product makes this a sponsored vehicle. They asked for the test. You be the judge. Let's get to the unboxing. Yeah. Let's talk about what FlowZone is promising us about the Zephyr. Now, this is a 4-gallon electric pump sprayer. Now, it's got hashtags on both sides of the body in both gallons and liters. It comes with this high pressurized rubber hose that flows into this 18-inch carbon fiber wand and comes with included 4 different spray tips. Now, the battery that's included in the Zephyr is an 18-volt, 46-watt, 2.6 ampere-hour battery, which means that you can spray about 24 gallons per charge. Now, this is a fairly simple on and off device with a pump sprayer running at 40 PSI with an output rate of 0.2 gallons per minute. The included sprayer comes with safety features like 2 different handles, adjustable backpack straps. It has a tank strainer and an additional strainer before it reaches the pump. All in all, this backpack looks fully loaded. Aside from its fully loaded options for an electronic backpack sprayer, there's a couple of things that really set this apart from the competitors. Number one, if you own any DeWalt, Milwaukee, Makita, or even Bosch batteries, with an additional adapter, you can use those batteries in the FlowZone Zephyr sprayer. It's pretty incredible. What really sets this apart from everybody else is this backpack sprayer was designed so you could replace parts. So let's just say one of the pumps go out. Well, they can send you the pump, you can change it yourself. Let's just say the motherboard goes out, you could do the exact same thing. You break a strap on the backpack, you can also replace that by yourself. So instead of waiting weeks and weeks and weeks and having to send in your backpack sprayer to the OEM manufacturer and wait for it to come back, you can order these parts, have them sent right to you, and change them. It's incredible, but none of this really matters if it doesn't perform. So let's get into that right now. First impressions, it's a FlowZone. These are always high quality, high built. Doesn't matter if you have the lower, medium, or high-end option. You've got this nice cowling on the front, clearly marked symbols on the sides, 2 safety handles. And one thing I noticed that they upgraded really was putting the ability to put your wand on top of the safety handle. It's a nice little touch. Getting these things on is pretty easy. I've got about 2.5 gallons in the tank, and I like to use that second safety handle to do that. Simply put the backpack sprayer on. The padding always feels nice and comfortable. But again, super stylish. I think it's really cool. Getting to the wand is really, really easy. You take it off, you simply hit the power button. Everything, they've done a good job making it accessible. And then you're off to the races spraying. It's just that easy. About the only awkward thing really is putting it back into the carrier if you want to keep it on your back. Let's see. Oh, I got it. So,
yeah, boy.
It takes a little bit of practice to do that, but to walk around, it's great. But obviously looks don't matter. It only matters how well it sprays. So let's get into the testing. With test number 1, let's do the water output cup test. FlowZone is claiming that this is gonna have an output rate of 25 ounces in 1 minute. So let's run this for a minute, just see what we come up with. To me, it looks like we ended at about 43 ounces, or we're getting about 1/3 of a gallon. That exceeds what they were telling us. Let's start out with the drip test. Nothing like getting water and chemical down your back, you know? But one thing I've really enjoyed about this is the internal gasket that it has on here. And we've got about 2.5 gallons water in here. but they've really done a great job reformulating this backpack sprayer. So you can see this nice rubber gasket and also a breather hole in here. Just kind of goof around a little bit and see how well it sprays. Now, the one thing I absolutely love about backpack sprayers is the consistency. Now, this is rated at 40 PSI. I've got the cone tip on, just kind of playing around with the settings here. And it's just such a relief, you know, not having to use the pump sprayer. It's just really difficult if you've never used one of these to explain how convenient this is. Not to mention, I'm not gonna get that problem in my elbow where I feel like I have a tennis elbow at the end of the day, but it's just so consistent, right? So I want to spray a little ginger here. G-I-N-J-A. It's so awesome. The reason why consistency matters is, let's just take, for instance, you've got these weeds, right? Ultimately, what you want to see is not this, where it has a bunch of dots on the concrete. You want to see something nice and smooth that's also not oversaturated. And so once you understand how to make the pass left to right, it's game over at that point. You are just slaying weeds. This also tells us we're gonna be very consistent with any spray that we use, whether it be iron, fertilizer, insecticides, herbicides. So you get that sense of confidence that you're not gonna be wasting a bunch of product and a bunch of money. I mean, look at this. Awesome. Zephyr. It's just so fun to say, right? They come up with the coolest names. Let's talk about the tips real quick. So we have a 45-degree flat. We have an 80-degree flat, and we also have the pin stream and the cone sprayer. Cone sprayer for me is the most utilized. I just love this thing because you can go literally from just a real fine mist, and then we can go to loosen it up a little bit. We got a broader mist, loosen up a bit more, 2 clicks more. Then all of a sudden we are spraying, baby. Look at that. It's so awesome. For me, it doesn't get much better than the cone tip because just, I can be on the fly, right? Have something that's very fine, and then I open it up just a hair. And this is probably my favorite setting because I feel like I can get it down really easy. So I'm gonna use this for herbicide action, but then if I have a wasp problem, I just rotate it real quick and boom, I've got a nice open spray. But then I go the opposite end and I need something that's a little bit more pin stream. And there I am. It's fantastic. And this feels really good. So let's swap this over to the fan spray. Let's just say that you're doing a job or you just have something across the house where you want a nice even distribution of something. It's just this easy. It's not too difficult. And you put it in, we're good to go. Give it another twist so we can get that at the bottom the way I want it. And here we are. And I personally like to get that fan sideways. So I'm just gonna make a little twisty here, tighten it down, and then look at this. And the name of the game for me is just have a nice even spray. So for this and the average user for an herbicide, this is actually pretty awesome. They've really come a long way with the user friendliness of this product. I mean, that's going on super even. So I used to think the marketing was a little weird when they'd be like, oh, this thing will spray 5,000 feet. But the fact of the matter is every now and then you're gonna be getting a wasp nest up in the eaves and the soffits. So to have something that will reach up there is kind of nice. Swapping out to the pin stream here real quick is quick and easy. Sorry, I'm trying to do this one-handed.
2,000 years later.
Put it in like so. And voila. So this will be an interesting test. I found that in the past, FlowZone kind of undermarkets how far this thing is gonna spray. And unlike the Typhoon 3, this is not a variable valve. So we're gonna put it right here. Just see how far this thing really goes, right? Woo, that's pretty far. Get a nice spray so you can kind of see where it is. And then let me pace it out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So they said 20 feet. I'm seeing it goes about 30, which is pretty awesome. Now, as far as how far it'll go up into the eaves, let's see. This was just spraying horizontally. Let's see what we got vertically and test it out. We'll go all the way up into my eaves here. See if we can't spray the winder. I would say that's a good 18 to 20 feet at the peak. Pretty easy test, if you ask me. Easily hitting that. So as far as the marketing feet, that'll go 20 feet, it'll go 20 feet in the air. As far as it going on flat ground, we hit 30 feet. FlowZone made a huge move in the market, and they have 2 separate packages that you can purchase their products now. So the Zephyr package 1 comes with the FlowZone battery. Just pop it in and you're good to go, right? Package number 2 comes with no batteries, but it comes with this adapter. This adapter is pretty cool because it allows you to use a DeWalt battery, a Makita battery, Milwaukee battery, even a Bosch battery. And the cool part is you can use the adapter, and the adapter also has a USB output on it. So if you wanted to multi-use this in the wintertime for an external battery source, you can, but it basically just pops in here and allows you to use your own battery source, and it has a bigger plastic window here that fits, so it fits all snug. And this is just, for me, this is incredible, right? So now we're using a Milwaukee battery on a FlowZone sprayer. So for those of you guys who have a lot of batteries in a different environment, this is a fantastic option, and you don't have to spend the extra money to buy a battery that you don't want to have to charge separately. So what do you get for spending the extra money and just jumping into the Typhoon 3? Well, there's a lot, but it may not matter for you, and let me explain. The biggest difference is this is going to spray at 0.2 gallons per minute. This one is going to spray all the way at 1 gallon per minute, so it's 5x the output. Typically, when you're dealing with fertilizer, insecticides, and pesticides, you're gonna be spraying everything at a rate of per 1,000 square feet. So you're gonna hold a particular walking pace. Now, for a guy like me that's been in the commercial space for over 22 years, I know my pace very, very well, and my walking pace is actually pretty quick, so I'm very quick to do this. But I found that the average person, this works fantastic because you're not walking as fast, kind of taking your time a little bit, and you can still get this dialed in very, very well. There's also a couple of differences in the battery sizes. You'll notice the battery on the Typhoon 3 is 3 times the size, but again, you may not need that. This is still gonna do 24 gallons of solution per charge. And so if you don't need to do 48 gallons per charge, you really don't need the extra battery. So for a guy like me, it's fantastic. There are some creature comfort issues, right? So on the back, you're gonna notice that the padding is doubled up on the Typhoon 3, where this isn't. However, I still find that this is very comfortable. You are going to notice a difference between this and this, but if you haven't had this, you're still going to really enjoy this. So not a big deal. Now, if we look at the wand differences, this one comes with the stainless steel wand and the brass tip endings. This one is going to have the carbon fiber, and you notice that the gun is also different. This is a more commercial gun, pressure washer style. And this is more of a handheld gun, but I still find this handheld gun is as good, if not better, than a lot of the competitors, and also comes with the safety stop feature on it as well. So I really feel that this has a place for the average user. The average users might actually be more comfortable with this unit than the Typhoon 3. One of the consistent gripes that I've noticed is people overspraying at 1 gallon a minute who are not used to it. So if you just like taking your time, then this is a fantastic sprayer to do you really well. So now let's just go ahead and test the difference between the Typhoon 3 output and the Zephyr. So we're gonna put the same exact pin streams, same distances, and just see how it goes. And then we'll try the cone, because I have a sneaky feeling that the Zephyr is actually gonna perform pretty similarly. So we'll put it on here like so, just the angle, Oh, dude, that's pretty far. Oh, we'll get a nice little, try this here. It's just not the same. Being at ground level, it was a lot shorter. So we'll do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, roughly 7.5, 8 paces, which is about 24 feet from ground level. And then we have an additional 1, 2, 3, 4, additional 12 feet. Again, it's just more powerful on the Typhoon 3. If we go back to the cone sprayer, again, it's just about volume, right? So we go back to the cone sprayer on this, and let's try to pin stream the cone sprayer. Just see where it goes. It's actually going further with the cone spray. That's pretty crazy. So let's see if we get the same results. Open that up. And here we go. We're getting a little bit further with the cone sprayer. That's pretty funny. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8.5 on this. So now this time we actually went about 25 feet. We got an additional 1, 2, 3, 4. And on this one, we're about 37 feet on this one. So fun little test here. And it just comes out to output and pressure. But again, this one, the major difference is, as you'll notice, we have a variable valve on here. If I put this one all the way down to 1, let's try it again, see where we're at. Even at the lowest setting, we're still overshooting by about 3.5 feet. And let me just show you so you can kind of understand. So this line on the outside here, right there, is going past our furthest section, which was about right here. I don't know why, but I geek out on these little things. But again, what you're getting out of the Zephyr for the price and the average user, it's awesome. Let's get into my favorite part of the video, which is going over the pros and the cons of owning the Zephyr. Now, on the back, it feels really well. The straps are padded, the weight stays balanced, and even with full 4-gallon tank, it didn't feel like it was digging in. And once you start spraying, the pump is very consistent, and I was able to spray about 18 to 20 feet in the air, right in line with what it's supposed to do. Now, as for flow rate, it was actually better than advertised. In my testing, I measured 42 to 44 ounces a minute, or roughly 1/3 of a gallon per minute, which is more than advertised. Now, one thing that really surprised me is my favorite nozzle ended up being the fan tip. Now, I normally lean towards these cone nozzles on the FlowZone sprayer, but the flow was so consistent with the fan tip, it just felt refined, and that could just be because of the slower flow rate. Either way, it worked really, really well. Now, the lid, it seals tight, no leaking. We have 2 strainers, one on top where you fill the tank to catch bigger materials, and one inside the tank. Now, if this internal filter gets clogged, it can be a little bit difficult to access, but to be fair, most sprayers, pump or battery, are designed this way, so it's not really a unique issue to the Zephyr. Now, as far as a con goes, there's nowhere to properly mount these nozzle tips. Normally be designed right here, but it doesn't fit. So the workaround is simple. I just toss them in the battery compartment here, and I call it a day. Now, the other drawback is price. The Zephyr costs more than twice as much as a pump backpack sprayer, and in some cases, even a little bit more than the other battery sprayers in its category. But here's the value side of that. Every part on this sprayer can be replaced. The wand, the hose, the pumps, the straps, the motherboard, it doesn't matter. You can replace it. So instead of throwing the whole thing away when something fails, you just replace that one piece, and that makes it more of a buy once, cry once type situation. At the end of the day, I feel like this backpack is a great balance between commercial and residential. It's got most of the bells and whistles the Typhoon 3 has. It's comfortable, consistent, and built in a way that every part can be replaced. But But you've seen the pros, you've seen the cons. Is the Zephyr worth it? And as per the usual, I'll post a link of the product down in the description of the video. In the meantime, guys, if you have any questions, comments, or concerns, hit me up down in the comments down below. You know I'd love to help you guys out. Until next time, guys, Pest and Lawn We're slaying lawns.